First thing I'm going to have to do here, I'm going to have to remove the air cleaner assembly to get down near the spark plugs. Pull out the number one plug here, see what it looks like. Spark plug wires, there is a special tool to take these off. It's not necessary, there's enough room here that you can just grab the wire and just pop it off with your hand. 0.080 spark plug gap. So the spark plug gap was actually not correct. Doesn't much matter. I'm not going to worry about those plugs now. These plugs are not pre-gapped, so I will have to gap these. Some spark plug companies are pre-gapped, but check yours out. When you're doing something like this, make sure they're, even if they are pre-gapped, just check them. Doesn't hurt to check them out. If for whatever reason you get your spark plugs out of your package and your little gasket isn't on there, it's just rolling around in the package, there's a wider end part of this and there's a skinnier end part of this on one side, right? They're double-sided, but they got different, there is a difference between each side. The skinnier side of it goes toward the spark plug body. Now, most 307 Oldsmobile built engines, the exhaust manifold was below where your spark plugs go, okay? Most 305s, 350s, the exhaust manifold was above, right over here. If you're working on a small block Chev, you'll notice that you'll have to work underneath your exhaust manifold. That can be kind of difficult, trying to feed a spark plug into the hole and try and thread it in, especially if you're, it's a tight squeeze. So, this car isn't bad, actually. You could probably get your hand in there and do it. But here's the neat little trick. Just get yourself a piece of 3/8 old fuel line or whatever, and stick the end of your plug in that on your rubber hose, and then feed it through. Alright, so we got our number one plug. It just made contact with the head. Okay, so it's at its limit now. Now, these plugs are a gasket type. Okay, these aren't tapered. It's got a flat edge on it. This has a gasket. So, there is a difference when you gotta tighten these down. The taper plug is only supposed to be turned after contact to 1/16 of a turn. That is for the tapered style. Gasket seat style with the flat edge, flat surface, has got to go 1/2 to 3/4 of a turn. Okay, so if your plug is a tapered style, a tapered seat, then you got to go 1/16 of a turn. Remember, this only applies to GM vehicles. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to apply to yours. Like, let's say if you have a 6-cylinder and you buy yourself some spark plugs, just read on the back. It'll tell you. Not all engines are the same. Like, as I recall, they changed the heat range style of plug on these for some V8s toward the later part of the 80s. I might be wrong on that. I'm not totally certain, but I know these plugs and the plugs out of my old Cutlass Supreme, which had the 307 Oldsmobile, The plugs out of my 307 Oldsmobile in my 88 Cutlass were a lot longer. So, yeah, so just take a look at the back end when you get yourself some spark plugs. Just take a look there and take a look at your spark plug to see which style it is and just go from there.